Alrighty. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. We're going to be playing some more Factorio. For the first time ever, I'm going to be streaming twice in one day, and we have come a long way from when we were just streaming once a week, and to be honest, I think in many ways we've gone backwards, because the original idea behind Factorio Chill was I was just going to play Factorio once a week, and then it would be nice and relaxing, but it wouldn't be too addictive, and now I'm streaming twice a day. So clearly something has gone terribly wrong, but I blame everything other than myself. But I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do some hard focusing on things that we could do outside of Factorio. And yeah, slowly work our way back to one day a week, slowly ramp it back down. But then again, I have had a rough couple of months, so I'm going to give myself a bit of a break. But yes, we are going to try and ramp it down a little bit more. Maybe play some other games, maybe see what happens. Not sure. But for today, what are we going to be doing? Titanium and gold and cobalt. So the three, I'm going to call them third level. I don't know why I'm driving back down to my starter base. I should probably be going back up to the Mega Mall, but whatever. Once your base gets big enough, it's really irrelevant where your actual character is. You just do whatever the hell you want. As long as you're within a robot network at some point, then you should be fine. Although even that doesn't matter anymore because, yeah, we're not getting anything in our inventory. We're not using robots to destroy anything. So, yeah. Okay, so we've still got a bit of gold coming in, but it's rather slow. And the transistors are dead because silver wire is not there. So we need to get a nice little machine pulling out silver wire. And we don't have any of those coils, so we're going to need to get an unload station here for the silver wire coils. Beautiful. Delete that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It all depends. If you press Q, then it works. If you press Control C and then try and do it, it gets a bit weird. But that should solve our silver wire concerns. And not sure if you saw it at the end of the last episode, but it should be not quite. It's not quite working, but we should get a few of these pretty soon. Yeah. We'll check back at them later when this number goes down from 10. But we do have one pressing concern before we go on to titanium, and that is this. We are now doing 6, I'm not going to say full, but pretty much full red belts of Givelite. And they're still terrible. What's the deal with this? Why are we requesting so much? Apparently fiberglass boards are not great. We must not be creating too many of them, but that's all good. Yeah, still in a bad state. Yeah, but this stuff, I mean, we've got 6 full red belts. Well, a decent amount. We could do another 2, but let's be honest, if we do another 2, the mines aren't going to produce enough to satisfy that. So I think what we're going to do is, if we just had the infinite here, I think it would be fine. We could turn on the infinite now, but it would just put an extra little bit on here. So what I really want to do is I want to do a bit of an experiment. And we do have a nice little Givelite patch down there. So I'm not sure exactly. Let me just think about this. Let's do it down here. And then we do a T intersection. And then we do a straight 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do a radar in there somewhere. I'm just going to do a standalone radar so we can actually see what we're doing, but we'll come back to that a bit later. Okay, I'll just put the radar there. That should give us enough vision, and we'll let the construction bots sort that out, which they will do eventually. We've got some of these buildings highlighted. It'll take a little while for the bots to actually make them, but should be fine. Okay. While we're waiting for that stuff, is this one of the buildings? It's a very nice, just a sulfuric acid canister. Okay, well, we'll get those buildings at some point and then we'll check back in there and see how that is going. But for now, we'll let this go through and then we'll probably tap this Givelite using, and we'll mess around with some builds that we'll be using later on for the mega base. But for now, let's go ahead and start hitting this process up. So let's go ahead and get rid of all the trees in this area. Make things much simpler. So first things first, we're going to do titanium first. So let's go ahead and whack down some titanium. So this is, I think we decided this is going to be a pretty big base with lots of throughput. So we're going to do 3, 4, 5, and 6 titanium ore. And then if we have a look at our notes, we're going to need 6 stations to get the ore in. 6 stations for the acid and water. 1 hybrid catalyst station. 2 plus for the crystal dust. We might need 3 for the crystal dust, in which case the crushed stone will just not have a station. But if we need any more than 3, if we need any more than 3 crystal dust, then we're definitely in trouble. Okay, so we'll try not to have too much crossover here. So what I'll do is, for titanium, it is, what is it again? Sapphirite, Crotinium, and Rubite. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do station unload. 6, 7 here. So this will be the hybrid catalyst. And then it was Rubite and Crotinium, I think. Okay, and then Sapphirite. You know what? I think we do it like this. We've got Rubite over here. We'll do the Rubite acid and stuff over here. Then we've got station unload Crotinium. And we'll do the 2 Crotinium things here. And then we've got Sapphirite and Sapphirite. And then we've got the 2 Sapphirite stations over here. That leaves us with 3 stations for the crystal dust and or whatever else we have to deal with. Okay, that's a nice little layout, and we'll probably be splitting apart these lines a lot more, making them completely separate modules, because right now they don't need to mix. We can just have a single line going up, and we might even make it a double block, simply because we'll need the height. Because we've got 3 different ores, and all of them need these huge, was it fleecing? It's not fleecing. This crystallizing, not leaching plant. They need leaching plants as well as flotation cells, and the leaching plants are even bigger, but not any faster. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a pain. So I'll put some more basic blocks up here just to give us some wiggle room, but we might blow through this T intersection and just end up making this a double block. Okay, so let's get it started with some titanium. So first things first, pretty much everything is going to be designed to be a red belt as always, and we may just make them red belts in the first place. I'll see how we go. Okay. So we ore crusher 1s. I do like this setup, but we do have much better ore crushers at the moment. So I think we start moving over to the better ore crushers. Because yeah, vertical space is going to start to be at a bit of a premium. So, and that's it. It looks like level 3 crushers are the best. We don't get any higher than that. Is that right? Okay, definitely looks like it. So that is 6 per second, which means this is all we need. Unfortunately, that gives us a little bit of pain when it comes to these inserters. 5.71, not great, but I don't think I'm going to worry about it too much. We'll just say it is what it is, take a little bit, because again, this is not the final build, so when it comes to the final build, we will make sure that it is absolutely perfect in the mega base, but for now, 5.71 versus 6 is definitely fine. Okay, so you are going to be spitting out almost a full red belt. We could actually, what we could do is we could just... Wait, see, what am I saying? We got blue inserters now, don't we? There's no reason to just be fine with it. Let's just upgrade all of these. We don't need to upgrade the yellow ones, but we'll do it anyway. All right, 7.0. And then this one. I think we do... Do we want to do 6? We don't really need to do 6, but we do need a normal inserter over here. And that is going to be pick up like that. Non-near. Pick up like that. Non-near. Okay. All right, beautiful. So that will do all of the sapphirite into the right thing. Now we did say we were going to have the acids over here, so we'll start off with a fluid train load for wastewater, and it's going to be sulfuric wastewater right here. And I think we made the decision last time that we were going to have yeah, separate. We're not going to be redoing anything on this particular station. Like, we're getting wastewater, we're just going to ship the wastewater out, and then we're just going to ship the sulfuric acid in. Now that does add to our train system, to our train grid, and it's something we might want to revalidate later on when we do the mega base. But for now, we're just going to do it like this, and if necessary, we'll upgrade the station that creates the sulfuric acid to make it create a whole lot more, but we'll just have to see how we go with that. Okay. Move that. We'll move that down a bit, but we'll leave room for some belts to come over for stations over here if we decide we need them. Okay. So what next? So it's going to give 2 times 30. Let's go ahead and get the next stage going, which is going to be the flotation cells. In this case, I think we'll do the same copy and paste operation here. Obviously, we're not going to need as much. These are flotation cell 2s, which are 0.75, and then they go up to 1. So we need 3/4 of this. So there's a total of 60, so we need about 45. Yeah. It's 46. Okay, let's go with that for now. Yeah. I'm going to leave... actually, no, we've got plenty of space, so I think we can do... Yeah, 1, 2, 3. We can do this over here. And then this one can go in the middle like that. Okay. Maybe we should have... Maybe... I think we'll move it over a little bit to sort of get in between these power poles, because otherwise we might run out of space later on. And do we want to make room to get rid of the crystals? To get rid of the gemstones in the middle? I think I kind of do. Alright, then we're going to move this over a bit. Just like that. Okay. So we're a little bit far away from the bots, where the bots usually hang out, but that should be fine. Okay, so this one goes directly down there. These belts are now going up because we've got a 3rd stage of processing that they need to do all the way up the top. And thank you, autosave. Let's go ahead and change these over to the blue ones. And up the top, I think that's kind of good. It's kind of, let's just send it all the way up anyway. So if we upgrade these guys. Oh, hold up a sec. They're already blue. Wait, they're already blue? Did I already upgrade them? I don't remember doing that. Flotation cell 2s. I guess they're already flotation cell 2s. Alright. So I guess maybe we do need the 60. And somehow we've got 58. I do not understand my own maths here. Alright, well. What we're going to do here is we're just going to copy and paste. I think we actually have to do that and then delete the stuff at the top. And then we should be good. Okay, 60. Each one does 1 per second. Beautiful, done. And that means we're producing 15 of this stuff, of the crystal. So if we go down over here, this is... Let's just make a new setup. up here because I kind of don't like that setup. We're going to take high max level ore crushers. Going to crush blue. These are blue ones. 6 per second, so we only really need 3. And that is going to give us 9 crystal per second. And 15 crush stone per second. Upgrade these inserters so we have the full 7. Long. Alright. So that's a bunch of crystal. 7.5 actually, so we could jump then onto another one somewhere else. Actually, we might make the crystal on the near belt, because then this guy can go off and just... Yeah, it's 15 per second, isn't it? No, we'll make... We can actually do this a lot quicker, a lot easier. So give me one of these down like that. Give me an offshore pump. I won't place it down yet because that sort of solidifies everything, but we can do that. And then the crush stone is basically like that. 7, 14, 21, that's definitely enough. And that is just mineralizing the water. Now this one is producing a full red belt. So we can do this. Do we even need to do that? This guy can handle 30 all by himself. Okay, so let's do... That's good, not going to be enough. Long. Long, and drop, and drop. There's no easy way to get all these inserters, but yeah, we will need 2 different clarifiers for this. But that's fine. Trying to keep these nice and thin, but that's definitely thin enough. Okay. Alright. We could squish this down a bit further, actually. Yeah. I feel like let's squish it down a bit further. So you go down to about here. You go down to about here. And then you guys go down a long way to about here. Alright. That's a pretty big move, but it'll be nice. It'll be worth it in the long run. Alright. So, So all the crushed stone from this build gone immediately. And all of the crushed stone from this build gone as well. And all we've got left is some crushed gemstones which come out here. And then we'll just put a red one over like that. And that kind of works. Yeah, it's getting in the way of that power pole, but I'm not too worried about that. Actually, let's not put that through the middle. Let's put that down the bottom. And that way we don't have to worry about that power pole. And we can bank up to 2 or 3 belts going left, going right to left here to get us all the way over to the end. Okay, I need to get these ones sorted. So these are all just going to be gemstones. Gimme gemstones. Yes, yes, yes. And then you are going to be crushed stone. And these inserters are already good, so they should be fine. And that power pole ties everything together. This power pole should be fine. This clarifier will need power as well. And I'm pretty happy with that build, so let's get the offshore pumps and put them in as well. We could find a way to only use one offshore pump if we really wanted to, but that is fine. You are going to be... And that speed of inserter definitely still works, so do it like this. And then we... Oh no. Whoops. We need this one to be blue. Haven't figured out a really good way to make all of these inserters work. But... Because, yeah. I mean, we could directly insert into like a machine that makes gems or something like that. That would be one way of doing it, but... Yeah. And we'll knock up some... If we're trying to make it in a single line, yeah. Because the way I'm thinking it is we have 3 lines, one here, and then one there. And then this line is for the actual sorting facilities. In which case, this section, I think we can do some purified water. And then this one, I haven't really left room to deal with. That. But that's fine. We can make do like that. That's a little bit all over the place, but it works. Yeah, that definitely works. And then you will go down here. So this is the wastewater. And yeah, haven't really left enough room. We can send up... Alright, we'll send up the sulfuric acid up here. That's how we do that. And then the wastewater will also send that around the left side, because that'll make a lot more sense. Yep. And then in here, we just need to... So this is sulfuric wastewater. Beautiful. Okay. So that's the sulfuric wastewater. And then we just need... So it's overlapping the pipes, the belts a little bit, so we might move that down a smidge. Give us room for another belt to go through, and there we go. Fan-freaking-tastic. Of course, this had to be broken. Of course, this one had to be broken. I don't know why I'm repasting and the water fill hasn't even been placed, but... Okay, that's pretty good then. So that will give us the crush going up. And what I'll probably do is we'll have you going like that. And going like that. And then... You need 25 per second times 60. 25 times 60 is 50 times 30 is 1500. Now all of these are going to be the same. 1500. So we need 30 of these. Okay, let's just redesign it because we've got... Yeah, we'll do that and we'll upgrade it. Hydro plant 3, 200 per second. So we need 4,500 total, which is vertical. 4,500 is 23 of these machines. So we'll just say 24 to make it easy. And should not be an issue to do this. 2, 6, 8, 10, 12. Got plenty of vertical room. That's 24. 24 times 40 is 960, which is approximately 6 to 7, so we'll put in 8 just to be safe. Get rid of that saline water completely. And might as well get a joining one there. That's definitely joined up. Alright, purified water. Should be plenty of it there. Nope, wrong one. Okay, so that's 24 times 200 is 4,800, and this is 60 times 25, which is 30 times 50, which is 1,500. So 4,800. Beautiful. All right, we're done. Now, this is the part where we need to go over the top and really, because, yeah, we couldn't do it on the side because there's just not enough room. Even if we move the water over here, these two, and then these two, and then these two, and we'd have to squeeze the sorting into this tiny little gap here, which I don't think we could do. So instead, we're going to take the easier option and just go up. Looks like we've got some crush already here. This is being taken care of very, very nicely. No crystal yet, but we'll get some of that soon. We can get an initial station loading the crystal here. And I'm pretty sure we're going to need 2, so I might as well add a second one here. but we won't hook it up yet. All right. And we'll see how that one goes. It should be fine when everything is a yellow belt. Okay, so now we have leaching plants. Now these guys are interesting because they don't actually... They're actually in the same sort of footprint. But they, for this recipe, I don't know why they have an output. Yeah, so like when we were placing it, it had an output pipe, but we don't actually need it. Okay. So, boom and boom. We've got our sulfuric acid up here. Okay. Output, we can just go like that. And then this takes absolutely nothing in terms of input, so we'll just put that there. And then no extra outputs, so that should be fine. I know it's a bit of a waste of inserters to do this, but it means I can just drag this recipe up without worrying about it. So we need 60 of these machines. 2, 6, 8, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. All right, fan-freaking-tastic. Okay, we're definitely producing water fill, but I'm pretty sure I forgot to produce water fill in the mega base. I'm pretty sure we just make it in the old base. So let's go set up a nice little build. Where are we going to put it? Just right here, just next to the power pole. Water fill. Give me a pump, please. Actually, let's do it over here. And then like so, and no limit. Thank you. Hi, John Kroner. Apologies if I mispronounce your name. This is not pre-recorded. This is definitely live. As you probably see, this is episode 40. So everything in this factory that I've built live. But yeah, obviously it has taken a while. You can see the playtime up in the top right. 89 hours we've been going at this thing so far. But I do, every now and then I do look at it offline and sort of figure out what I'm going to do and do some planning and stuff. Jan Kroner. Yeah, it's, so there's been a lot of planning in between episodes, but as far as actually building things, it only happens on my live streams. And yeah, the reason it's so big is because we spent a lot of time at the start building these snap to grid blueprints, T-intersections and stations and all that sort of stuff. So it's very, very quick for us to just build it. And we've got a huge, everything's a roboport, everything's a logistics network, and we got 5,000 of each type of robots just flying around. So it's mainly a case of we build something and then we build something else while we wait for the bots to finish off the first thing we built. So I'm usually got like 3 or 4 different modules on at the same time. This time we're actually doing pretty well. The bots are finishing this stuff off pretty quickly. Although we're really, really struggling here. Not a single one of these offshore pumps got placed correctly. To clarify, I'm using a special mod called water fill to actually place water. And the problem is if it places a pump before the water fill has actually been placed down, then the pump just doesn't work. So you have to delete the pump and then replace it, which is painful because it takes the bots ages to get back over there because we don't have storage anywhere except the mega base, which is all the way over there. So it's still a bit of a flight for our robots, even though we do have level 2 robots, which are quite a bit faster. And we've gone up so far that we're actually up in the trees again. Yeah, well, I mean, Bob's Angels is extremely complicated. So once you get to the end of it, you've just got stuff all over the place. And I think if we have a look, we've got 77 different items being trained around at the moment. Most of them have 3 trains each. Some of them... What are these? Oh, these are back at the starter base. Trains that I never... Wait a sec, there are 3 trains there. Where is this 4th train? You just... I don't know what this deal is, but it's just some random train that we never set up just at the wrong station. Okay, we'll ignore that for now. Yeah, see this mess here was my starter base, the original starter base with the belt-based belt-based bus and all that sort of stuff, but everything these days is all train-based. It is beautiful. Okay, so we're just waiting on purified water, I think. Oh, we've got it now. We've got the purified water coming on in. A little bit of it, anyway. Starting to see some saline water. Okay, beautiful. And there we go. Starting to see some of the crushed chunks, and then we're starting to see some crystals, which is fantastic. The crystals are both sides of the belt. Excellent. And that is pretty much it. Then we just take these, send it up and over, and then we send it all the way down to line to when we're doing the actual sorting. So now is where we get the fun part. So we're gonna have to make sure we copy this at the right width. So we need to make sure we get everything. Okay. So that looks pretty good. I think we're getting everything there, but we're going to need 2 more of these for titanium. Pretty much identical blocks, but obviously different recipes inside them. So that looks about right. We can move it over 1 space in either direction. And then over again 1 more. Okay, beautiful. Little bit of belt shenanigans to get these working, of course. And we've got our wonderful station blueprint, which always... Excuse me. Sorry, I gotta take a drink for a second. All right, we are back. Thank God for my push to mute button, because otherwise you would have heard all of that coughing. Probably been casting too much, wearing out my voice, but anyway, to make titanium ore, we basically need 3 different ores crystallized, and you basically, what you do is you mine the ore, then you crush it to get the crushed version, then you chunk it with purified water to get the chunked version, which spits out some geodes and sulfuric wastewater. And then you crystallize the chunked version using some sulfuric acid. And these 6 take different sorts of acids, and they spit out different sorts of geodes and wastewaters and stuff like that. And we need 3 of them to get pure titanium ore. Okay, that's a little bit problematic, but we can work with that. Let's get a nice pump. How much throughput do we need for these? I don't actually know, but that's 2400 per second. 3.75 times 60, I'm pretty sure that's less than 2400, and it's within the pump's range, so... The power pole's range anyway. What are you complaining about? Sulfuric wastewater. You shouldn't be complaining about that. Have we missed an underground somewhere here? We have. How did you get left out? Okay. Well, that'll fix that problem. Oh, and we've got some of these as well. Somehow they got all missed out. Alright, well. And yeah, these inserters got... Everything got messed up with this build. I do not know why. Hang on a sec. Am I doing near and far with... I don't think I'm doing near and far with these guys. I think I messed that up. Okay, well that's annoying. I mean, near and far is definitely important, but it does mean that you have to manually go up 2 at a time. And it's very easy to lose track. So like this is... See, we've already lost track. Now we've got a near and we've got a near right next to it. To go up, if you're going up by 1, you can just drag and hold, which is very nice. But if you're going up by 2, then you have to... Transport belt is in the way? What the hell? Okay. And now we got an odd number. Are we supposed to have an odd number? We're not supposed to have an odd number. What have I done? What have I done? I've done something wrong here. Where are the... I turned off biters. I never play with biters if I can avoid it. And with a base... With the base this big, I just don't like dealing with them. So I turned them all off. I turned off a lot of stuff in this build. We've got cliffs were turned off. Water was turned off. And... yeah, so we didn't spawn with any lakes, so I haven't needed a single ounce of landfill in this base. Everything is just land, and we just water fill where we need water. Because this is the sort of thing that makes making a mega base a lot easier. Because if you're going to make a truly massive mega base, then doing things like filling in lakes and getting rid of biters and stuff like that and dealing with pollution, filling in lakes just takes ages. It's just a time sink. And dealing with bugs and pollution is a UPS drain. Like pollution, massive UPS drain. Bugs, biters, massive UPS drain. So the only bugs we have left are the errors in my base that I haven't picked up yet. But I'm sure there are still plenty of those. But yeah, biters turned them off. And to be honest, most of the challenge is just actually making these builds and actually getting them working. So now we need to figure out why everything is still broken. Why are you still broken? I just copied a bunch of stuff. Purified water. Ah, okay, it's just waiting for these undergrounds. There is no challenge. Okay. The challenge is mental. it's just, yeah. I mean, this entire base, every single module working at its premium. Let me show you this over here. So this is a nice LED display which displays the status of every single train system in the entire base. So as we can see right now, iron ore is very low, and as a result, iron ingots are low. There's plenty of iron ingots available, but there's too many stations requesting them, so that's telling me there's not enough trains in that network. Here, there's no iron ore available, it's just low. And the reason is because iron ore is made with sapphirite and givelite, and givelite is just down in the toilet. We're not making enough of it, which is why we're doing this little test build down here, which we'll probably do later on. But yeah, making this giant machine and having everything precisely, and this is just for, I'm not going to say this is our starter base, but we're going to rebuild everything once we get the max level buildings, max level prod modules, max level speed modules, and yeah, it's going to be, let's put it this way, I'm going to aim for 18k SPM in this base. Well, we are aiming for 18k SPM on this base. It's going to be 4 max level belts of every single science, and the max level belts do 75 items per second. So we are absolutely going to do an incredible mega base. Now, 18k may not sound huge. I don't know if it's a world record. I don't think anybody's tracking world records. For Factorio Space Age Vanilla, definitely not, but Factorio Space Age Vanilla has research productivity, infinite research productivity, and it also has quality modules. And I don't think we have either of those. So it is going to be pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. But we have to get through it first. And something, okay, we got full prod module, full here. Okay, we're just waiting for these pipes to be placed down. They're going to be placed down over here and over here as well. Okay. We got the white stuff going on over here. Going to squeeze these guys over. And that's the red one. So let's start refreshing these. So this is, yeah, so titanium takes sapphirite, crotinium, and rubite. And what are you? That's going to be spitting out. Is that spitting out chloric wastewater? Okay, so that's pretty much a waste product. One thing we're not actually doing here, which is a bit of a concern, is we're not actually venting the, is it the red one? I think it's the red one. We're not actually venting the excess wastewater. We're just chucking it in a station, but of course the station will fill up, so we still need a way of venting it. And I kind of forgot to do that. So what we might have to do is we might just have to send it all off to the left and vent it if we've got too much of it. A little bit annoying that I forgot about that, but you live and you learn. Okay. Yeah. All right. That is a bit annoying. Okay. You go like that. And there's no really neat way of doing it. We're going to have to send more pipes down the bottom, I guess. Can't really build it into the state. We could. Nah, that's janky. That's janky at all. As all hell. Let's. What are we going to do? Let's just grab the thing from over here. We got this nice little build that works really, really well. And we could fit it in between. We could just squeeze this on the, oh, we can squeeze it on the side here, but we can't squeeze it in between these two. So let's just build it over here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. We won't need this output belt. Output pipe. So we've got this one, which goes all the way up to the top. And this is basically sharing the liquid storage with the train station. And then send that down and like so. All right, so now we just got to get the liquids over there. Okay, for the white ones, it's going to be light green geodes. Let's get some light green geodes. Unfortunately, annoyingly, these all spit out different ratios. Of course that had to be broken. Of course, these always have to be broken. Done, 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 done. By the way, let's go down and check the hybrid catalysts. That's beautiful. 51k of each of those. Missing one of these guys so far, but what's going on up here? Not building any because of transistors, because of silicon wafers. No monosilicon. I guess we're not actually shipping in monosilicon, so we could start doing that. Station unload monosilicon. All these are parameterized blueprints, so all we need to do is select the item, how much of it we want, and the system will take care of it. And because we're building on top of these medium electric poles with the things already on it, hooked into the radar network, it just automatically updates this station into here. So if we go down to monosilicon, you can see 2 red lights have picked up, and they represent the 2 train loads that our new station has just requested. And those lights will disappear as soon as the train actually pulls up and drops off those goods. Okay. Now, what's the nicest way we can get these pipes across? I mean, we can do one over here. That's easy. And then you are the actual thing. You are the actual wastewater. Alright, so let's get... what are you again? Chloric wastewater. So fluid train load. Chloric wastewater. And then we need a train to unload hydrochloric acid. That's hydrofluoric. We want hydrochloric. That's hydrogen sulfide. That's hydrogen chloride. Where the hell is it? That's percolic. It's in here somewhere. I can never remember where any of these damn things are. Let's just search for acid. There it is, hydrogen chloride. What a pain in the butt. And we need to create trains for a lot of this stuff as well. Okay. And what we'll also do is just increase that. And that acid also, that stuff also goes over there. And then this is where the acid needs to go. And so that'll go up. And that's beautiful. Now, all of these need to be changed over to light green. And these need to be changed over to white. Yep. And you need to be changed over to white as well. I'm going to do these manually, so I don't mess with the nearness and the farness of it. And then we just need to do our slow roll up here to manually update all of these. Although this time it's a little bit easier because we just need to make sure that the last remaining yellow one is at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, almost went too far, but and beautiful. So that's all of those done. And now we just got to change these over. And wait for the acid to show up, which it's not going to show up anytime soon because we haven't got a train for it yet. So let's go over in our little repair area. We're going to need to, we'll create 3 trains for this because we always create 3 trains. And I always have a bit of issues with actually adding things when there's no wagons. It seems to do weird stuff sometimes. So hydrochloric acid full, hydrochloric acid empty. This time I'm not going to bother searching for it. I guess we're using this icon. Refuel and depot. 1, 2, 3. 2 and 3. All 3 stations go into the load station. That's good. It means we have tons of hydrochloric acid in the supply. And I think we're just waiting on pipes to get their stuff together. Okay. You got to be waiting. Either you're full on the wastewater. Yeah, it looks like you're full on the wastewater. And these guys are just waiting for the acid. All right, beautiful. And then we got the red, which is the nitric acid. So, yeah, definitely I feel like cyan geodes. I feel like titanium is definitely in the bag for this episode. And I feel like gold as well, probably we'll get gold. Cobalt may take a little bit of time. But now that we've done most of the actual design work that we need to do. We'll need to do a bit of design for the actual sorting facilities because we are now going to have a ton of different belts. Like each row is going to need to have 3 different input belts. So yeah, it's quite a lot. You guys need to be cyan. Now this is where things get interesting because this is actually producing more than... It's producing a full belt. It's producing a full belt of crushed stone, which is still half of this, which is enough for 1 clarifier. So interestingly, if this was producing 6 to 9 crushed stone, then this clarifier wouldn't be enough. But so far we haven't run into that situation. But yeah, see this geode produces only 3 crushed gems. This one produces 9, and this one produces 9. I could just want to. I did make this a near one. Did I make none of these? Let's make this a far one, and a far one, and a far one. But I think we'll have to come down back to these belts. Because, yeah, this guy, I think we're going to need to make this on the second line. Well, this is the final one anyway, so you can go like that. And for now, we can do that, but that is probably not going to last. You know what? Let's not even do that. Let's just do... Oh, we've already got another gem train. We could even just do 1 train for each of these guys, if we really wanted to. 1 crushed gem train per thing, but I don't think we will. I don't think we'll do that. All right. So, now, let's get this set up. Fluid train, load, nitric wastewater. I don't know, sometimes I say nitric and sometimes I say nitric. It's very, very weird. Fluid train, unload, and that is nitric acid. God, oh, there it is, beautiful. Okay. We can sort of do it like this. Not quite. That's the wastewater. And we do have to sync it up as well with this particular setup. So this one's got a bit, this one's got a bit, but we need 1 more. Seems like a very nice place to send it over. And done. And then this one, we might as well just... That seems to be okay. And that'll be the acid going up. And it'll go all the way up there. And into these. Pretty sure, yep. Nitric acid. That looks remarkably like this symbol. We did get some hydrochloric acid in here. Very nice. And there is our white crystals. Okay. Now let's get a few more trains for the nitric acid. I don't know. I used to say nitric acid all the time. Now I'm just saying nitric acid all the time. I really don't understand why I'm doing that. But we're just going to keep dealing with it for now. Okay. Wait for the carriages. All right. Beautiful. Nitric acid, nitric acid. There it is. Is that right? That doesn't look right. That looks like a different icon to what we had before. Nitric acid. Yeah, this is the one. It's sometimes it just has 2 different icons for the same thing. It's very annoying. But as long as we got the same icon across the trains and the train stations, then I'm kind of okay. Refuel and depot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the load station is completely full. This one, along with the hydrofluoric acid, is the other one which is relying on wastewater. Now, there is a more complicated recipe using ammonia to create nitric acid out of thin air, and we'll probably use that in the mega base. And to clarify, this looks like a mega base, and it is, but when we get all the science researched and unlocked, we're going to get max level buildings, productivity buildings, production modules, speed modules, beacons, and then we're going to basically rebuild every single station here. So instead of this one producing 120 per second, it'll produce 300 per second. And it'll fit in the exact same area because that's how awesome the modules are and the better buildings are. But for now, is this improving at all? I mean, it's not 10, it's down to 9, so that's a little bit better. How is this process? Still getting placed down, but we're almost there. Okay, once that finishes, we can go back and see what we can do. Okay, what the hell? Why do we have empty? Okay, that's better. All right. They almost screwed that one up, but should be able to see some nitric acid pretty soon. And the good thing is this will produce more than enough nitric wastewater to send back over to the other area to be able to create nitric acid. The only possible situation where we're actually going to run out of nitric acid is when we use it to mine the rubite ores, which we will see a little bit later with the givelite, depending on whether I get it done this episode. Okay. So now we got our 6. Let's whack down our brand new shiny ore sorting facility. Number 4. Now, this guy is going to be producing a ton of different stuff using this recipe. So, we're going to do what we did before, which is, well, this is actually a lot more serious than what we did before, because we kind of need 4. I don't know if we can actually make this happen. We've definitely got enough room. No, not quite. But so we'll have to use an underground here, drop and pick up, and this will be for the hybrid catalyst. Nice power pole there, nice power pole there. The speed is not great, so we don't need a huge amount of speed. Long, double long. And just for the simplicity's sake, we're going to make this one near, this one long near, this one long, 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 near, and long, long. Okay, then we do horizontal, like so. So those are our 6 output belts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is hybrid catalyst coming up the middle. Okay. Now we're going to get 60 per second of each ore. Even though they're on yellow belts, we're planning it around red. 60 per second of each ore, which means we need 30 of these machines total. So 4, 6, 8, 10. And yes, I see that power pole. I don't give a crap. We are going straight through it. Well, once I press the correct button. Okay, that's 30. Unfortunately, that will take a good long while. No, no, that's not right. You know what? I want these to be... I kind of want them to be... how are we doing it down here? Yeah, symmetrical. I want them to be symmetrical. So we're going to need to make them symmetrical over here. And we can... yeah, it's going to be cool. And that actually gives us room to do that. And we got all of the crystals here, so now we just need to send them down. This will take a very long time because these buildings are all max level buildings that we're building very slowly because we don't have much gold. But I do like the fact that we've... if we cut it off here, I still don't think we could have fit this mess in this grid going like that. I don't think so. I think it was just, even if, like, we'd have to take all three of those, squeeze them in here. No, it wouldn't have worked. So we did have to go up a lot higher, but that is fine. Send all those belts down. All right. And then we'll send all of these. Oh, that's that one. Okay, well, we gotta send that one up as well. And then don't need this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, like the other ones we did, aluminium, zinc, silver, and silicon, we're going to be pretty much building all of these at the same time because they're all pretty much identical. Let's just move that up. I don't know why, but that feels like a little bit more better. We could move the entire thing over, actually. Two tiles. Yeah, let's move the entire thing over 2 tiles. Just because it'll look a little bit nicer. Okay. Oh, no, we have to move this. We have to rearrange this entire belt stack now. Okay. Beautiful. And there we go. It just goes straight up and right in the middle. You don't need to be there anymore because we moved you over 2, and then you are all good. Hopefully I haven't messed up anything too much. Looks like we're still connected with power. Don't really need that power pole because it connects over here. And these guys don't need to exist anymore because they just got moved over. And you go over there. Okay, that looks... Okay, this is very weird. I don't remember putting those undergrounds. I think it must have... When I hit the control key, it did all sorts of weird stuff. Okay. That's fine. That just means we're going to have to manually delete these. Hopefully it didn't do anything weird with Inserters, doesn't look like it. There we go. Be careful, because I think this was a full belt, and then it automatically got converted to undergrounds when we moved the entire build over by 2. Maybe I copied and moved it instead of cutting it, because if I cut it and moved it, it shouldn't have done that, but anyway. The important thing is it's all done. And we got some blue on the wrong belt here, which may cause us problems in the future. So we got some red on the wrong belt here, which may cause us problems in the future. But yeah, we can just get rid of those belts and make absolutely sure that it's not going to happen again. All right. And that's pretty much it for this build. The only possible issue that we may still have is the amount of crystal. When this is fully running, are we going to be able to get... Are we getting rid of crystal fast enough? Potentially with some other builds, we may have too much crushed stone. Here we seem to be fine on the crushed stone. But crystal may be a problem later on. So... for now, what we do is this. And this. And we're also going to need some of these guys. Just because I didn't want to copy all of that stuff. Oh, what am I doing? We do actually want the purified water stuff, don't we? I don't know why I was excluding that when we definitely do need it. Okay. Beautiful. All right. That is it. Now it's just a case of setting up new stations, new recipes. So we got everything we need here. We got some nitric acid, nitric wastewater. These guys will take a very long time to go down, but we should start seeing some titanium pretty soon. One thing we don't actually have are any hybrid catalyst trains, but we've got these 3 random trains down here that we can make use of. Hybrid. Come on, come on. Okay, don't know why that wouldn't just work, but hybrid catalyst, empty, refuel, and depot. That's this train, right? Yep. 1, 2, 3. And even though we're only producing 2 red belts of catalyst, I think we should be fine for the near term, because titanium will need a fair amount of, gold will need a fair amount of, cobalt will need less of. But anyway, we're producing 6 full belts. So I doubt we will need enough that, you know, we need I don't think we're ever going to need more than 2 continuous red belts, at least until after we finish off yellow science. Let's have a look at these guys over here. You're not even full on these ones. That's a bit disappointing. Titanium is starting to really hurt. These circuits are building at the moment. They seem to be okay. Gold obviously is a problem. Plastic is a problem. How much plastic? Did we even ship? We got 8.6 plastic. No, this is not Space Age. This is Bob's Angels mod pack. Okay, those ones should be fine. We're building all those. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a struggle with making these guys, because yeah, gold is being made at a snail's pace. We've got a temporary setup down here, which is making gold by requesting it from over here. Just a bit of a hack build that we've thrown together. And it relies on this leaching plant, which is just extremely slow. But we had to make those temporary setups because this building requires a full blue circuit. But obviously we're using this to make titanium and to make gold, and blue circuits require gold. So you have to use the dodgy sorting recipe. So if we have a look at the sorting recipes, you can get a tiny little bit of titanium using this recipe, or you can get a ton of titanium using this recipe, but this recipe can only be done with ore sorting facility 4s or above, and ore sorting facility 4s require titanium. So you can't get the good building until you've made at least a little bit of titanium with the crappy building. But we're looking pretty good now. This guy's got everything except the hybrid catalyst. And we've got hybrid catalyst coming out already. Just waiting on the bells to go through. All right, beautiful. So that takes care of that one. Okay, well, now we start copying and pasting stations. So this is crystal. So we can just copy and paste these, because that's no different. Hybrid catalyst is this one. So it's this thing right here. Didn't quite copy enough of the belt, but that's fine. And now we got to put in a lot of the big stations. Come on, show me. One of the things you need to know about me is I love to just watch builds work. Just watch them go through. So as soon as we see some titanium coming out, I'm just going to be like, ah. It's been patched to work with 2.0, but as far as I'm aware, not space age. And to be honest, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy anyway. Like, we've already gone 90 hours and we haven't even got yellow science yet. So it's a bit of a grindy mod. Space age, I'm not sure what you would do with that sort of stuff, but I have heard rumors that they're going to try and do some sort of space expansion with Pyanodons, so that would be pretty insane. But I think with Bob's Angels, they, as soon as they invented C Block, they were just like, nah, we've done too much damage. We need to stop now. So yeah. What was I doing? Okay, so we need outputs for gold, station, gold ore. Yeah. I would like to do, I think after I finish Bob's Angels Mega Base, I'll probably do Pyanodons next, but it's kind of, it's weird because I'm absolutely owning when it comes to Bob's Angels. I'm doing so much good stuff, but Pyanodons is still very, very intimidating because, like, building a big train base like this, it's exactly the sort of mod which requires LTN. And there is LTN didn't get updated to 2.0, but there is another mod called CyberSyn which you could use. But a part of me really wants to just use vanilla train schedule. Like, all these train systems are vanilla. It's just completely 100% vanilla train systems. But for Pyanodons, I'm not sure if you could do it with vanilla, unless you'd have to have like a train carrying multiple goods, or you just end up with an overwhelming amount of train stations and trains. And there are vanilla ways to do a kind of LTN sort of thing, but they're all very difficult to pull off and they're not great. So, but we are thinking about them. Well, I'm thinking about them anyway. And I think with pine needles, we're going to have to do something interesting, but we'll see how we go. All right. So let's have a look at gold. Okay. So blue is the same. And red is the same. I think I'm just going to leave blue and red as they are because the order doesn't really matter too much. And then we just got to change white to brown. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so in that case, we need blue over here. Yep. And in this case, we need red over here. Yep. And then this one in the middle needs to change to brown. So let's get some unload stations for bulbmonium and bulbmonium. And we'll need to update all these guys. Thankfully this takes sulfuric acid, so it's not like we need any sort of crazy acid, it's just sulfuric acid. I've got to update all these inserters again. What do you take? Red geodes. Still no crushing that spits out a ton of the crushed stone, which I'm very happy about. Let's go all the way up the top and fix these. So you are red geodes, boom, 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 and you are brown chunks, boom, boom, boom. No, we want to do it like this so that we don't ruin the near and far inserters. I'm kind of... We can't really see which ones are yellow and which ones are blah because obviously everything's ghosty and none of it's working, but I think I've got my finger on the trigger of how far you need to go down to sort of go down 2 stacks. So I think that's fine. And then the crystals. Okay. So sulfuric acid and sulfuric wastewater, which means we can just copy these 2 stations again. Yeah. Sulfuric wastewater is the wastewater. Yeah, okay, beautiful. We could merge these 2 stations over if we really wanted to, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, so that is... Theoretically, that's gold. And then we just got cobalt at the other side. What are you doing for me? This hybrid catalyst, man, is taking 1,000,000 years to actually get up to the end of the belt. It's just this one belt. And it looks like everything else is pretty much good. We got the red, white, and blue. So beautiful. Come on, guys. Come on. And the next one is going to be red, brown, and blue, which is very interesting. Because I know this is a flag of some sort, but I don't think red, brown, and blue is a flag of any sort, but... Alright. Let's have a look at... Did you just get... No. Alright, let's have a look at Cobalt. Cobalt, I feel like, is going to be a bit of a deviation here. Okay. So the only thing that's the same there is the white. We need yellow and brown. On the plus side, we've already set up brown. So what we can do is up like this. Select all of that. And then that's going to be the third one there. So white and then brown. All right, beautiful. And then yellow, which we haven't touched yet. So we just have to go through and do those manually. And, well, yellow isn't going to work very well anyway because we're so low on the gibberellite. But at least it's another good source of hydrofluoric wastewater. So, and we could definitely use some more hydrofluoric wastewater. Which, yeah. Pretty sure the amount of wastewater we're creating here is going to be enough to do what we need it to do. I had a thought there and I kind of lost it. But it's going to be enough to create the hydrofluoric acid that we require for this build. Purple geodes. And yellow. And yellow. And I think with that, we've gone through every type of geode, every type of ore between these three builds. So it's all beautiful. Hopefully we don't get down to the bottom of this stack and we have an odd number because that would really suck. Beautiful. So purple geodes. Yeah, see, this is the problem. 9 per second from 6 geodes. That means the 15, if we have a look here, 60 times 0.25 is 15. Which means this will produce more than 50. It's not actually a big deal. Because eventually, actually, it's not a big deal at all. Because that just means that it'll produce 22.5 crushed stone per second. Well, actually, a little bit less. Yeah, 22.5 crushed stone per second. And this can handle 30. And it needs to be a red belt, but honestly, it doesn't need to be a red belt yet because these belts going up aren't red, which means that only half of these machines will actually be running at full swing. So by the time we upgrade all of these to red belt, we'll upgrade this to red belt and it will be fine. Alright. Why are you still backed up? Oh, here we go. Look at this. Titanium coming out on the belt. That is pure titanium ore. And next episode, we can start to get some actual... whatchamacallit? Actual titanium plates. But yeah, very, very happy with that. And it's going to take a million years for us to get all of those. Although once we start getting a little bit of gold ore out, and gold plates out, then we can start making, speaking of which, gold wire. We can already make gold wire coils directly. That's very nice. So we can ship those around instead of shipping the wire directly. And because we always ship around the scrolls, the rolls, and the wire coils wherever we can help it. And we're actually getting close to making a proper blue circuit build. Hopefully a little bit better than this one because it's our red circuit build. And I kind of just ended up making a small build and then copying it 3 times and hooking it up with massive amounts of red belts everywhere. And it's just a menace, but yeah. You are kind of out in the... No, you joined up here. Okay, that should be fine. Let's actually have a look. Sulfuric, chloric and nitric all got hooked up correctly. Okay, so I think we just let those run. What else have we got on the ticket up here on my list of things to do? So we got that. Titanium, gold, cobalt. That was the list. Lots of petrochem crap needed for lithium stuff. I don't want to touch that right now. I really don't want to touch that right now. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's go down. I can't believe the bots haven't finished this off yet. Come on, bots. Really, really need you to finish off this area. How fast are our... There's so many bots actually going. It's because of the way that roboports work. Like, they can't actually construct that because it's not within range of a roboport. So they have to put this down, and then a bot can do this. But then the new bot has to come all the way from the other side of the map. So it's very, very slow to do a snaky sort of setup like this. But we still got about 4,800 bots not doing anything. And we've converted all of our construction robots to blue and just got a little bit of the red ones left. So I think we are... It's probably... Actually, hold up a sec. I think we're out of wood. Yeah, if we go down to green circuits, this is down to 43k, so we're definitely used up all the wood that was in our logistics system. So we can go ahead and start deleting a bunch. Yeah, okay, that's a lot of wood. That's 200,000 wood. I'm just going to do it, give the bot something to do. Hopefully it doesn't slow them down too much from doing this stuff, but... yeah. A few of them are turning around. Most of them happen to make it across. I'm just very grateful that I upgraded most of them to blue before I started doing this, because then they have a lot of sort of space. We've got a row report over. I think I'm going to make a row report over here as well, because this one is not quite covering the Givelite ore that I really wanted it to. Okay, so we have a million different things for our bots to do. And the fact that I asked them to destroy all these trees means that whatever we do next is probably not going to go very well. But I do want to kind of surround this with a massive block, but let's not do that quite yet. Let's talk about this ore and what we're going to do with this ore here. It's a bit hard without a radar there, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to get a couple of stations put in. So I will put in one fluid train unload. This one doesn't even actually have any train lines in it. So, God, I really want this radar to be put down. It's within the range of the row reports now, but yeah, maybe I shouldn't have highlighted all those trees, because the robots are going to be doing nothing but trees. Yeah, every single one of them doing trees. All right. Maybe let's cancel that. Okay, that's definitely not what I want. That's definitely not what I want. That's definitely not what I want. Okay, that's what it is. There's all these different ways of using these, with like shift clicking this and shift clicking that and right clicking and blah, 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 blah. And you never quite know what it's going to do, but I think that's what I wanted to do. Okay. So we've undeleted all of those. Okay. So we've got a rail here. So this one, we're just going to put a fluid train unload here. And that fluid is going to be hexafluoric, I believe. Pretty sure it's hexafluoric. Hydrofluoric. Whatever, close enough. If we have a look over here. Yeah, the yellow is fluoric. Okay, beautiful. That one's done. And then you just go back to... Actually, what we should do is we should get this one to be on this line. And then this line... just goes like that. And that will give us hydrofluoric in the system. We don't actually have connectivity to our radar system here. But we got a radar right now. So let's just hook that up here. Green, and then green, and then red, 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 red. And I believe that's how our stations normally do it. Both signals, and they just go to this power pole. Okay. So that station is fully hooked up into the system right now. And it should be getting a hydrofluoric train pretty much straight away. Okay, we'll give that a second to get placed. And I'll show you exactly what I want to do with the Givelite, which hopefully will fix up problems with the shortages. Because it's still, look, Sapphirite is going down as well. Because we've only got 4 red belts of Sapphirite, and we're using a ton of them. Even more now that we're doing all this titanium stuff. So yeah, Sapphirite is struggling. So we might do another one with Sapphirite as well. I do want to upgrade these to be proper builds like the one I'm about to show you, but I'm kind of waiting for the outside to be worn down. But it's hard because the outside goes through belts. So we may just have some of these little off-place setups all over the place. So pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to set up another little train station, station load, and then we're going to mine directly into the silo. And it should be incredibly fast. It should be, I'm not sure how fast it is for Givelite, but I reckon fast, it's going to be as fast as like 6 red belts or something like that. It's going to be very, very fast. And at the end game, what we'll probably have is we'll have this little core in the middle, and we'll have 4 of those. So we'll try and get like 4 stations in there. And those 4 stations will all have a mine going directly into them, and they'll just be mined out incredibly fast. Because yeah, if you have a look over here, each of these regular ones are doing 1.2 per second, and that's with a level 3 mining drill. So Givelite is just a pain in the ass to mine. But this one is 125 per second, 79 per second, whichever, I'm not really sure. But it requires the fluid, hydrofluoric acid. So if we get ourselves enough acid, eventually we can just have an incredibly large amount of mines. And that's not even including prod modules. We don't really have too many prod modules at the moment. So once we really start getting the prod modules up, well, not prod modules, but just mining productivity in general, just the research. Why the hell are these idiots flying over here with coal? You came in here with coal and then you just flew away. Stupid bots. We got all the stations. We actually haven't finished off all the stations over here. We did do all the setup over here, didn't we? White. Okay, so we can do the white ones. Somehow Crotinium hasn't started falling over yet. yellow over there, and then brown over here. So we did have a couple of brown stations, which go right here. Yep, brown stations, and then we need the accompanying for the brown stations, which I believe is just the wastewater. You're not that. You're not that either. Where's my brown wastewater stuff? I think it's just here. But we can't just put it in here because then it's in the wrong order. This one here needs to be sulfuric acid. Okay. Fluid train unload. Sulfuric acid. And then fluid train load is the sulfuric wastewater. Done. Done. Okay. And then we just need the last bit, which is yellow. So we'll get a couple of stations dumping the Givelite ore, the ore that we are extremely low on. And then pretty sure we need the hydrofluoric acid right here, which is the one I accidentally found before. And then we're loading the wastewater, the fluoric wastewater. Okay. And that should be cobalt done. Except we need to update these recipes, but... How's gold doing? Hasn't even got any of these things coming through yet. We really are... Not slow, but yeah, there's just so many belts that the bots need to place down. So really is taking it. Alright, so we got our radar down. We got this. Unload. It's possible we haven't... Yeah, I don't think we've actually created any trains for hydrofluoric. We got hydrochloric, I'm pretty sure. Can we do a high... Yeah, we've got hydrochloric. We just do not have hydrofluoric yet. Okay. Wonder if there's any way we can speed this up. Because this is just waiting on gold ore, right? And this is just waiting on titanium. And we got plenty of titanium right now. Do we... I kind of want to speed that up because we're going to need a lot more of these to actually make gold. We're not going to make... Oh, actually, we do have a couple of these ready to go. Cobalt I really don't care about, but we need at least a little bit of the gold. I think we'll just leave it, and then we'll come back and we'll make proper stations for making the ingots and whatever else. Okay, so Givelite right here. Let's start off with station load. Okay, like so. That looks like a pretty good place to me, and we're going to be loading Givelite ore, and then we get a couple of mining drills. That's 87 per second. That's 143 per second. They are both purely infinite, which is nice. And then this one needs to go like that. And then this one needs to go like that. Not really going to bother putting signals in them or anything like that. You need to go there, and then you need to go there. And we need to drag across those signals to this power pole, and again with the green ones as well. Now, I'm not exactly sure how much this silo takes up. I think max is about 6 train loads. But that should still make a pretty big difference. And let's go ahead and set up these trains. So, hydrofluoric acid. There it is. No, is that hydrogen? No, that's hydrogen fluoride gas. It's not the same thing as hydrofluoric acid. Acid. It's a completely different thing. Okay. Acid. There we go. Full cargo and unload empty cargo. So glad I started building these up here. All right. Good. Got a bit. Got a bit. And it looks like we got enough to fill up 3 trains. That's very nice. Although we really don't have a lot of the stuff here. So hopefully this process down here doesn't actually use up too much. But it probably will. So we may end up dying from lack of hydrofluoric acid. Because we're just sending it all down the drain with this build over here. In which case we might need to start working on a build. Okay, you are... If I send you all the way over there, I think that just covers everything. So... But yes, we may need to investigate a bit earlier a way to make hydrofluoric acid from scratch. But we'll see how we go. It's almost the 2-hour mark, so I think we'll probably... I'm not going to go into anything new, I don't think, this episode. Petrochem stuff, not going to worry about that. I think we actually want to rearrange these a little bit. Titanium everything and gold wire, and then blue circuits. And then this crap we can do later, but we'll get blue circuits first. And once we've got blue circuits and titanium everything, then making these buildings should be easy. We already got reinforced concrete. We just need a train with titanium scrolls and a train with blue circuits. And then we'll be extremely, extremely solid. And we can make whatever purple buildings we want. We can make level 4 mining drills and put them wherever we want. And yeah, it'll be beautiful. It's always a bit hard to tell. Pretty sure that's highlighted. Blue. Undergrounds. I think that's one of the things we didn't make. Did we make it up here? I know we're making pipes. We've got this really... Oh, that's steel. But we are making this really gnarly pipe field over here. You know what? I think... what I want to do is this. So you are going to be underground. We'll get rid of you. And we'll get rid of you. And then we just need this one to be dropping and picking up. And you're picking up from there. So you'll pick up and then drop. Okay. And that should give us a ton of pipes. And we can... That should hopefully be enough. Because yeah, I was just building intermediates needed by buildings for this process, but I forgot that we actually have, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this and put it up here. And then I'm going to put another one. Because, yeah, underground pipes, we need a ton of them. But that should be enough for the mega base. Because, yeah, I think undergrounds, we're currently just relying on little builds we made in the starter base. And the starter base, I feel like, yeah, is dead. It's not dead, but steel is dead. Iron is dead. We turned off all the train stations, so no more trains coming in. So, yeah. We definitely, we had a little build here somewhere. Where did I put it? Yeah, here. It was making a ton of underground pipes, but it's all shut down when the iron got shut down, when the starter base got shut down. So, yeah. For now, that will get it fixed up. We must have had a huge cache to not notice it for all that time. Come on, bots. We might wait for this to finish, because I really do want to sort of show it off, because I think it's a really cool idea, and I want to see how fast this happens. But yeah, we got to wait for the Roro port to go down, and then all of the rest should be triggered immediately for it to come down. But it's a bit of a wait. It's all right. I mean, look, the stream is called Factorio Chill. So I think it's fine to just sort of sit back and wait and see how this works. Although I really wish... Okay, apparently there's not that much hydrofluoric. Did you guys all take your hydrofluoric over to here? And that was it? Like there's none other left. Yeah, they filled up this station quite a bit. That's a 0. It's still a 0 out of 1. It still wants more hydrofluoric acid. The problem is we're not generating that much fluoric wastewater. Like, they're generating a little bit here. A little bit here, but that's not enough for one train. So... And that's yellow. Over here is yellow as well. Again, not much. But all of these builds are backed up because we're not using them as much anymore. So yeah, well, this is not going to be something we can really show off then, because we're just extremely low on hydrofluoric wastewater. And when it comes to these builds, the amount of wastewater you spit out is enough to create the acid. But if we're going to start mining with it, then yeah, you really do need to be able to produce it off cuff just whenever you want. And unfortunately for the acid, hydrofluoric acid is very, very difficult. So basically what we need to do, because I'm in this hydrogen fluoride gas, you can't easily create it. Well, you can. We basically would need to send in green metal catalyst and then acid gas to create hydrogen fluoride there, and then the sulfide and the carbon dioxide and blah, 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 blah. But we need to get acid gas from somewhere. We do get a bit of acid gas out here that we're throwing away. But we need to get acid gas from somewhere else as well. And acid is... There's no easy way to get it. Like, there's a whole bunch of this crap, which I really don't want to use. There's this, which does produce a fair bit. I don't think it's enough for a closed system, though. I don't think so, because this is 20 per thingo of lime. Having said that, though, we've been just using lime as a way to... Just using this process as a way to get rid of lime. But what if we do it the other way around? We use the lime to we get lime from nowhere. We create it from scratch, which we can do. And then we use it through this process to get acid gas. And that'll basically, because this just takes, so we just take a filter frame, throw some lime into it, get some sulfuric wastewater out, which we can process or whatever, and then we get some acid gas. So we can basically create an unlimited amount of acid gas using nothing but water and lime. Okay, and then acid we can convert into this. Yeah, I think that's it. Because this fluorite, you can make it using this recipe. So we could do that and we could get that, but that's using metals, so we kind of don't want to do that. But it seems like we can just do this instead. Hydrogen fluoride using acid. That will mean we need a ton of acid, but we can kind of create a ton. I'm not sure if this recipe is very good, to be honest. Kind of seems a bit dodgy, but the rest of them are just as dodgy. So we have a look at this. Yeah. So say how let's take a step back and say how much acid do we actually need, say for this build. So we got 60 buildings here. Each one takes 3.75 per second. So it's approximately 200 acid per second. But that's really not what we're asking. What we're asking is how much acid do these guys take per second? So we can actually look over here. Where is it? Over here. Okay, so according to this, it consumes 1 water per mining operation. And a mining operation is 1 per second. So potentially we're using a tiny amount of the hydrofluoric. Because if we're like, if this one's spitting out 120 per second and it's using 1 per mining operation and a mining speed is 1 per second, then potentially you're taking 1 water and converting it into 120 coal. Now, I'm still not sure if that helps us because we still need a way of making this, but it means that we will probably be okay. We don't need a massive amount. We don't need to spend like hundreds or thousands of hydrofluoric ore per second in order to make the mining work. We just need a little bit off the top. Just a little bit off the top. And potentially maybe we could just use this acid here and see how it works. But the downside now is that we are pretty much out of hydrofluoric acid. We could do something really dodgy. Let's do something really dodgy. There we go. Request a chest. And this is when you know you're doing dodgy stuff. All right. Give me... So you are acid. Give me hydrofluoric acid container. We're probably not going to have any of that. But we're going to go over here. And this is going to be acid again. Fill hydrofluoric acid container. Empty container, and then this is a red thing. Okay, so that helps us out a little bit. Once we fix that up. Once we get a power pole here. How many empty containers do we have? Probably not a lot. Let's just fix that. Nope, it's not called a container. It's not called a canister. Okay, let's do that. I have a funny feeling we don't actually have much plastic. We got 7.5. I don't think we're actually shipping it in, though. I don't think plastic... Because plastic is kind of one of those intermediate goods that you really don't think you need if your base is under control. And therefore, we just don't have it. So, I think I'm going to just get plastic in here. And then we won't have to worry about it anymore. Right. So that will get us some canisters. We can send those canisters down to get hydrofluoric. Please tell me we've got this. We do have this row report. All right, so everything else is being placed. We'll get a little bit of hydrofluoric down here. Hopefully it won't take too long. And let's just double check with this station. These are all linked up, so there should be enough in there to fill up a few barrels. Hopefully, because we got at least 3.6k. And if our math is correct, then 3.6k should be enough to give us like, what, 500,000 ore or something like that. Something absolutely ridiculous. Who knows? I don't like the fact that that is red. Or that's not... Or maybe it is highlighted. It's hard to tell when it's a passive provider chest, but... Yeah. Maybe we'll make a note about this. Not sure if we need it before or after yellow science, but infinite hydrofluoric acid, infinite nitric acid build. Yeah. All right, you need a power pole down here as well. Okay, and now we just have to wait for all this stuff to get sorted out. Yeah, okay, these guys just got highlighted, so clearly they were waiting for something. Passive provider chests. Oh, we got 100 in there. And we got enough robots coming down, so I think it's just waiting on the tree. Like, there's some things that are just, like, waiting on the tree to be destroyed. And unfortunately, our network is so huge that we should have robots free. I don't think all of them are... Yeah, we're only using about 600 to fill this area in. Only about 600. And we're still... It's... Yeah, the problem with these builds is you're missing one pipe and everything stops. While we're waiting, let's fix that, and over here, remarkably low amount of these pumps. Oh, we got all of these working. That's fantastic. Working. All of these ones were working. That's very, very good result there. And yeah, gonna be a while before we get that stuff over here. Oh, this is titanium. So this is gold. Got a couple of these, but no ores coming through, probably due to these pipes being missing. But we got all the crush up there, which is nice. So yeah, as soon as I started investigating yellow science, it was pretty much a case of 20 more stations that we had to create. And it is a bit annoying because all of these stations are going to have to be rebuilt eventually. I mean, we've got Hellmod, and these are just the calculations for red science that I threw together one day. As you can see with the top level prod modules, get 120% productivity in these assembly machine 6s. So it really, like 300 red science per second only takes, if we do it in seconds, it takes 46.4 copper per second, 28.1 iron ore per second. So very, very, very doable when you chuck in the prod modules. But I think we're going to push this stream a little bit. It is close to the end of the stream, but we're going to push it a little bit because I want to see everything be created. I want to see if this mine, especially for Givelite, because Givelite is so crappy, is just so old and crappy. I want to see if it actually, it's like mining time of 200, which is like, was not as bad as Crotinium, but we use it a lot more than Crotinium. So it really is painful. So I want to see if these guys actually... So this one is weird. It says expected resources 87, and then it says mining speed 19.6 per second. So I don't quite understand it, but we're seeing the signals here, so it looks like all of these are linked up beautifully. And we're just waiting. Yeah. We'll just wait for this to finish off. And okay, we got some canisters being delivered down here. This is finally being built. And we're rapidly building everything we need. It's just the purple sorting facilities which are missing at the moment, but eventually they will all get sorted out. And if they're not sorted out by the time we finish gold and titanium, then they'll get finished very soon after. Now, in terms of gold, there's a few different ways to make gold. This is the simplest one, and a bit of chlorine. Chlorine we can make, and we can throw away the sodium hydroxide, so that should be easy. We also got access to this, but this requires a level 4. So I think we'll ignore this for now. And it takes nitric acid and hydrochloric acid, and it gives us a little bit extra gold. I'm not sure we're going to use gold in enough. Even in the mega base, I'm not sure if we'd use that recipe. And then for this, it takes the sponge, and you can make it either using this recipe or this recipe. Both of which are equally complicated, but this one requires purple buildings. So that's a half. So it's not any more complicated, except it requires the ore processor, but it requires purple buildings, which makes it very hard for us to build it straight up. But I think we will plan for it because, yeah, it's not any more complicated. It just requires those stupid purple buildings. Bloody oath. Bloody oath. This is what I get for doing 2 streams in one day. I just feel like I need a break, even though it's my day off. So yeah, we need to start doing a little bit less Factorio. The problem is, oh man, I've got all this furniture that I've put on order to do like board games and books and stuff like that, and it hasn't arrived. It's all late, so I haven't got my books out of the boxes. I've got nowhere to play board games or do anything, so it's just an excuse. I'm playing too much Factorio. It is what it is. We're just going to have to admit it and probably not do 2 streams a day anymore. Probably have to cut back quite a bit, but it's all good. Come on, guys. Yeah, see, even though these are all blue robots, they're still... The bots aren't slow, our base is just massive. That's the problem. Our base is just way, way, way too big. It looks like we've got everything built here, though, except for this one pipe. And hopefully we haven't missed anything else. That would really suck if we missed anything else. Because if you miss one thing, then suddenly it's just like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, we missed... Well, we haven't missed a pipe. We're just waiting for a bot to build it. There's the bot that's building it. Oh my god. It's... I don't know why, but I'm very, very happy watching this sort of stuff. Alright. There's a bot taking the first few canisters of hydrofluoric, and looks like we've got everything sorted out correctly because they are actually taking it over. And we can sort of look at this petrochem. It's a bit hard to see exactly how much there will be in the system and how fast it's using it, but yeah, it'll be a good test to see. Like, this is... It'll be a good test to see exactly how many resources. This one, I don't know why it's so low. 19.6 per second, whereas this one is 180. I don't really understand that. And yeah, what does it mean? 1 per mining operation. Don't really understand that stuff. But if this does save our bacon, then... Because... Yeah, if we go back over here, Givelite is still dead and Saphirite is going the same way. So the problem is we're just using so much Givelite ore. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 red belts. Why is this one not working? Oh, they're actually starting to back up. We're actually starting to back up on the iron. Okay. How the hell did that happen? I mean, we haven't been doing science for a while, so that's probably a big part of it. But yeah, steel is looking a lot better. Iron is starting to back up. Iron ingots starting to back up quite a lot. So that's probably why. Aluminium ore? I don't even know what we're using aluminium ore for. I mean, it's not, we're not using it for a lot. Just this process over here. And we're not making... Oh, because aluminium ore requires Givelite. So the entire chain has been trashed. Yeah, okay. That is fair enough. It's fair enough. Right. Now, there is a way to highlight this, and it'll actually show you where all the bots are that are delivering it, but it's very hard to do zoomed out that far. And these bots, these aren't even the right logistics bots. Where are the bots transferring my cargo? It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. They're over here somewhere. Looking for... Because, yeah, it's quite a journey to actually get over there. There they are. They're the ones that are actually got the containers. Well, eventually we're going to have nuclear-powered robots that don't require recharging. And we'll have infinite speed research. But even then, we're not going to have any sort of permanent setup where bots are moving stuff across the map. The only exception will be places like... when we cut down trees, we'll have the bots move them over to places like this. Speaking of which, I'm not going to set it up yet, but I think we start doing a bit of wood. Just a bit, just to give the construction bots something to do while we're sort of not doing much. And they can probably, they'll probably take them like 10-15 minutes to get through that. And let's just watch the experiment once the bots finally do get here, which will take a little while, but yeah. Sometimes it's hard streaming, especially when you're doing really boring stuff like this. But I think it's boring, but at the same time, it is important that we do these sort of experiments. Or at least show off these sort of experiments, because obviously I can do them offline, but doing them online is a lot more interesting. So, dum 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 dum. Let me guess. $73 canisters. Each canister is about 50. So, yeah, I mean, 73 times 50 is about 3,000. I think that's all we're pretty much going to get, because I think this is probably tapped out by now. Yeah, belts are empty. We've already got some canisters coming in, but there's just no more. So 73 times 73 times 50. Yeah, if we do the exact math on that, 73 times 50 is 3,650. Okay. And I want to see how much ore we get out of this. There's one coming across. So this one will be how many canisters? I think it starts off as like, it's probably carrying like 4 canisters. Oh, there's a whole bunch coming at the same time. All right. Whole bunch coming at the same time. So 3,650 is... was doing 2 mining operations per second, so that's probably about 70 givalite per mining, and this one is probably like less, but we'll see. We'll see what the actual speed is. All right. Beautiful. They're finally going 150 per second. This one is only 16 per second. This one's 150. As you can see, it is going pretty damn high, and this, it goes up and down is the thing. Like this one is 138, and then it's kind of settling at 138 by the looks of it. This one does 40, this one's up to 49, which I like to see. I'm not sure how much of this fluid they're actually using. But they've got very little, and they're still running at full speed, which makes me think that the 1 per mining operation is actually correct. So if it's doing 2 per second, so between these, it'll be using 4 hydrofluoric acid per second, and we got 3,640, which is 4. All right, so we're doing approximately 4 per second. And yeah, so it's about approximately 300 per second on a good day. Let's say 200 per second. So we're getting about 50 ore for every hydrofluoric acid, we'll say. And this thing is suddenly beautiful. Suddenly, if we go over to here, hydrofluoric, we've just got 3. Boom. And I have a feeling that, I'm not sure if all 3 are down here, but it is filling up like crazy. Look at that, it's 30k already. And these trains only carry 8 each. So this is the power of infinite ore. It's just massive, massive amounts. And this is a level 3 electric mining drill, which is 2 per second. The final level mining drills are 8 per second. So 4 times this speed. And this is, if we have a look at the bonuses, productivity is 20%. So once we start getting that to 100%, 200%, 300%, one drill will be able to keep the entire mega base running. I'm not even kidding you. We can support potentially an 18k SPM mega base for all sciences using one drill per thing. It's just insane. Like you may be able to fill up this entire thing in like a few seconds. Okay, well, we have kind of solved our Givelite issue. I think we're going to need some more trains to handle all that throughput, but yeah, look at that. It's just creeping up like crazy. Let's get a few more trains. Now, the downside, obviously the major downside of this solution is it does take the fluorite, the good old hexafluorite. But then again, I mean, I haven't actually been keeping track of how much it's been creating, but we know that it's been creating. So 50 times 3,000 is, I'd say about 150,000 is a pretty good estimate. And we still got some left over. See, it's still got 3k left over. So we've used about 650 acid, and we've filled up 4 trains already, and we're still going strong. So, see, yeah, it's ridiculous. And we need a ridiculously low amount of hydrofluoric acid. So you fill up this station once, and you're good for millions, potentially. Like, what did we say? Yeah, 50 per acid, so 50,000 is 2.5 million ore. 1 trainload of hydrofluoric acid is 2.5 million ore. Not including productivity, potentially. Maybe, so 2 divided by, yeah. So that's 312 ore trains from 1 acid train. My God. Okay, so that is fan-freaking-tastic. And I like the fact that this one has gone up to 78, whereas before it was like at 19 or something. Alright, so I think we have shown how awesome it is going to be once we've got all of that stuff done in the end game. And we might do a few more of those here, there, and everywhere. And potentially what I might do, because I've got a thing where I'm kind of like really want to mine out the actual ore around a patch before I start hitting the infinite part of it. And maybe we will continue to do that, but yeah. Well, we'll leave this here, but we'll make it low priority. So the trains still empty out the other bit first, and eventually this will clear out. And then we can make this the proper infinite one, because it's nice and close. But yeah, we'll probably be doing this exact sort of build for every single ore. And we'll say done. And I think this stream is done. I think we have done a great job. And gold is coming down the line. Hooray. Out of only 2 ore sorting facilities, but it's still coming out. All the other resources are good. All these resources are good. What's going on here? Why are you only half full? Did I mess these guys up? How did I do that? Alright, we got to fix this real quick. And this one is just completely broken. How are you completely broken? Oh, because it's Givelite. Okay, fair enough. Are your inserters at least okay? Near, far, okay. Alright, let's go ahead and fix this up because this is not great. Near, far. This is what happens when you mess up the rule of 2. Okay. Boom. 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 So So aggravating doing this. Every single build looks like... Maybe I should mess up the power lines a little bit to make this easier. Alright, there we go. That should be done. And we'll just have to wait for Givelite to get some Cobalt. Not that we've got any of these. Okay, well... Did they send these? I think I sent those trains off. Okay, so... Givelite, a lot better. And now Sapphirite is the one that's falling off. But yeah, Givelite, look at that red. It's just receding into nothing. So that build is awesome. And that should fix up aluminium after a while. And we'll get some Cobalt going down. After a while, titanium is already full. Gold, not quite. Cobalt is over here. But anyway, we're going to finish that off now because I really am running out of time. But it was a good thing. We got 3 of these major tier 3 ores done. The only tier 3 ores that we really have to worry about. Uranium is nice. It's nice to have, but it's not really required for science. Although maybe space science I think requires a little bit of it, but we're just focused on yellow science at the moment, so don't really have to worry about it too much. And yeah, from that point of view, we're pretty much done with the ores we need. And so now we're just going to set up a bunch of other stations. And I feel like we're just going to need to figure these out. So straight T. Might as well do a T up here, T up there, and then we'll build a station up there. And we're mainly just building that so that that can put a radar down on it. Straight, straight, straight. And then a nice T there. And then a nice T there. And we don't actually need this T anymore. This T has kind of been superseded. Replace that with straight. And we could put some more solar up here, actually. That's a nice idea. Beautiful. And a bunch of basic blocks up here. Bit too far away, but we'll take it anyway. All right, so that is it. It's looking very good, and we're very much done for today. I'm definitely not doing a third stream today, but I've got to find some stuff to do other than play Factorio, sort of mellow myself out a bit. So, thank you very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed the stream, and I will catch you guys later.